Okay guys, so I'm going to make this tutorial on my font notebook that I created that everybody's asking me about. But at the same time, I figured I would show you guys how to actually download and install fonts. I've seen a lot of people ask about how do I get it into Design Space. So I'm going to show you how to do that as well. As you see, I've got Design Space already open here. So let's go to the font. Just please remember, any fonts that you download are 90% of them are for personal use only. So if you're going to use it for Etsy or setting up a craft show or anything like that, then you need to get the license to do so. So once you're at the font and you see something that you want, I don't think I have this one, so let's just download it for the sake of this video. Once it downloads, this is how I do it. You can work it yourself or however, but this is how I do it. Once it's done, I show in folder, and it's going to show me what I downloaded. And then on my desktop, I actually have a folder that's called fonts. All I do is click that. Well, I double clicked it by mistake, but click that and move it over into that folder like that. Okay. Then I just open up my fonts folder, and there it is. Then you just right click on it. I use Zipware is the program I use, and then you can extract it to wherever you want, but I just extract to this folder. Let it go, and once it's done, it's going to look like this. If you just click on it one time, it'll show you here, but so basically what you want to do is just highlight it, right click on it, and this one right here that says install for all users. Oh look, I already have it. So I'm just going to say yes just for the sake of the video. It's going to overwrite the one that I already have. And there you go. That is it. It's that simple. So now let's go to Design Space. And that one is called Marlena. So let's open the text up. And when you get open here, for the most part, it is going to default anytime. If you haven't done anything in Design Space, you just opened it, it's going to default to this one, which shows all. That is including any fonts that Design Space has that they are offering. So if it has that little A right there, that means you have to purchase this, and they're going to charge you $4.99, but that is your license. So if you're going to be doing crafts for shows and Etsy and all this, I would suggest you pay for those. I just go straight to this one, which says System, and that shows you every font that I have on my computer. That font was called Marlena, so M-A-R-L-I-N-A, and there it is. You just highlight it, and it'll change over. That's it. And so actually, while I'm here, let's do this. You see they're not touching. The easiest thing to do is letter space it, and you can get them to get pretty close, like you like it. Sometimes they'll overstep, and they will bump into each other too much, but that looks pretty good to me. Maybe that R needs to back up a little bit. I always use the letter spacing and the line spacing before I'd use the ungroup, because once you ungroup it, you can no longer edit it. So remember that. Alright, so now let's get back to the font book that I have. You'll need to go to Print My Fonts. So let's go there. Or you can just search Google for Print My Font. And here it is. It's from STT Media. You click on it. This is a freeware program. It is free to use. They ask for donations, so I highly suggest, if you're going to use this, to just donate a couple of bucks, because If it wasn't for them giving this away, then it would cost probably 30, 40 bucks. But because people donate, they get it for free. So just go to download and just download it and save it to your computer. So that's it. So once you save whichever version you want, don't fall for this. This is a ad. You'll pick which version you need for Windows, Apple, Linux. Click on it and it'll download for you. Then you'll need to tell it where to save it. And I save it in my fonts folder because this is not an application that installs on your computer. It runs every single time you click it. It will rerun. See how that popped up like that? So just click run and it will start running on your computer. It's taking a little time to load here. There we go. Alright, once it loads, you'll see this is what some of my settings that I already had in it. It lists every single font that I have installed on my computer. And there are a lot of options. You can do the whole computer, or you can tell it which folder you want it to look in, but I just suggest you use the whole computer. You can look for specific fonts. This section right here is where you can change what you want it to say, is to give you your example. This one here can be really confusing. I use the simple name, and what that does is put it in alphabetical order on this side over here. That way it's just easier for me to look at alphabetical. You can go through and choose the line break and the style and the format, but the problem with that is it's going to see that this is a script file, but so is this. And then guess what? This one down here is actually a script file, even though it's not cursive. It's called a script file, so it's going to list all of them together. So I just go with name. That way it's in alphabetical order. Then you have your options here of how you want to export it from this in order to print it. You can simply click this button right here, print from here, and you're done. Or you can export it as a picture image, bitmap, JPEG, or PNG. I personally use Word. I'll export this to a Word document. Let's do that now, and I'll show you why. As soon as you export it, then it'll open up whatever you choose to export it as. Alright, so there's the Word program. And the reason I put it in the Word program is because if you look, like this one here, it's just a little too big, so I will actually go through there and make it smaller. These right here are just a little too small, so I'll go in and I'll increase the sizes so I'm not squinting because I'm old. And then you can simply just continue to do this all the way down. If you look right now, I have 69 pages of fonts. There's a lot in here you may want to delete like I do. See, this one here is one of my favorite fonts, but it's too big. It's taking up a whole lot of space, so I'll just minimize it. You keep going, just keep going, keep going. You can go and set this up however you want it. If you don't want them small and you wanted to make them all huge, that's your choice. Just more pages you're going to print. Keep going. See, all of these are too big for me, so I just make them smaller to where they're one line apiece. And some of them I'll leave 2 lines, but for the most part, they're just all one line. And as you do that, you're going to start reducing your pages and going down, and see, like all of these are just standardized fonts that came with the computer. I actually delete those out because I don't need 75 of that particular font on there. So, and by doing stuff like that, you will reduce the amount of pages you're going to print. Like these ornaments, I simply back out most of it because they're ornaments. This one here, like this one is a good font for doing knockout lettering and stuff, but it's just too big. So I'll leave that 2 instead of 1. This one here is another really good, nice font. Again, here with the swashes, you don't need that many swashes to know that that's a font with swashes in it. And you can just kind of scroll through and just see, you set it up however you want it. Delete all the extras, like the flower fonts that I have. You don't need all of those. And as I go through there and delete these, the pages that I'm going to be printing is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Okay, so once you have it ready and you're good to go, you can print from this, but a trick that I learned is if you try to print from this Word program with these fonts, about 60% of the time it's going to lock your printer up and it won't print them all out. I don't know why, it just does it. Maybe somebody that's smarter with computers can do it. So I go to print, and then whenever it loads, I change it from my printer to a PDF. Well, it didn't add the PDF, so let's do it this way. Go to Save As and change it up here to PDF. And it's going to save it in my desktop in my font folder. It's going to be font list. Let's change it to tutorial. And then hit save. And it's going to save it as a PDF, which is going to flatten everything, which makes it easier to print. And I haven't had much of a problem with the printer locking up on me when I'm printing it as a PDF. It takes it a little longer to actually save it that way, but again, it's well worth it because it doesn't lock up your printer and you're not having to reprint over and over and over again. It took me a while to figure that out. So I hope this has kind of helped everybody understand this program. Again, it's free. It's something that I have a problem with. I like things to be neat and organized, and I could not stand sitting there scrolling through Design Space while I was waiting or trying to find a font that I liked and sitting there and going, oh Lord, well, let's try this one. Well, let's see. No, I don't like. Let's go down and try this one. Because a lot of times Design Space won't actually show you, like you see how this one here is written out. This one may be the same thing, which I'm pretty sure it is. It's just not showing up in Design Space as that way. Design Space is not going to actually show you exactly what you have here all of the time. Most of the time it does, but not all of the time. It's not going to show you the images. So that's that. That's how I do it, and it's pretty simple, and that's it. There's the PDF. It takes a little while to load because I didn't go through here and reduce a lot of stuff. I have 81 pages to print. Just make sure you set your side up here that you can hole punch it, and when you're done, you'll just stick it in a folder, and then you've got a quick reference guide to all your fonts. I hope this helps. If you have any questions, let me know. We'll be happy to help you. Make sure you subscribe and share the group page so we can continue to grow.